When most people think about happiness, they're really thinking about that quick, feel-good rush. The high you get from something pleasant happening right now. You buy that new phone, you bite into your favorite dessert, you get a text from someone telling you how much they appreciate you. And in that moment, everything feels lighter. That's level 1 happiness. Pleasure-driven, sensory immediate, and there's nothing inherently wrong with it. In fact, it's part of what makes life enjoyable. Problem isn't that it exists. The problem is that so many people stop here and expect this to carry them for the long haul. Pleasure is like a spark. It lights up quickly, it burns out just as fast. Think about the last time you really wanted something. Maybe a new car, maybe a dream vacation, maybe that perfect pair of shoes. You built it up in your mind, you told yourself, once I have this, I'm going to feel amazing. And then you got it, and sure enough, you did feel amazing for a while. Eventually, that car became just the thing you drive to work. That vacation became a set of photos on your phone. Those shoes are now in the closet with the rest. This is the nature of pleasure-driven happiness. It fades because it's tied to circumstances, and circumstances are always changing. And here's where people get stuck. When the feeling fades, instead of asking, is there another level? They just go hunting for the next spark. They chase the next purchase, the next trip, the next, like on social media. It's a cycle of hit, fade, repeat. It's exciting. It's also exhausting because you're constantly dependent on something outside of yourself to feel good. Why do we get trapped here? Because it's easy. Pleasure is accessible. You don't have to grow to experience it. You just have to consume. And our culture is built to keep us here. Companies spend billions engineering products, ads, and experiences that give you those quick hits of dopamine. Social media is designed to keep you checking for validation. Streaming services feed you endless content so you never have to sit in silence and think. And little by little, you can build an entire life where you're constantly entertained but never truly fulfilled. The danger is when life inevitably throws something hard your way. And it will. Pleasure alone can't hold you up. You can't shop your way out of grief. You can't binge watch your way through a crisis. You can't eat your way into meaning. When the storm hits, pleasure-driven happiness is like building your house on sand. It washes away, and you're left wondering why you feel so empty when you've been chasing happiness all along. But I'm not here to tell you to give up pleasure. Pleasure is part of a rich life. A sunset, a song that gives you chills, the taste of your favorite food, those are gifts. The key is not mistaking them for the foundation. If you want a life that feels deeply satisfying, pleasure needs to be the icing, not the cake. It's a boost, not the base. What makes level 1 happiness so seductive is that it's immediate. You don't have to work for it, wait for it, or risk anything for it. That's why so many people stay stuck here, because going beyond it requires effort, growth, and sometimes discomfort. It means being willing to trade the quick fix for something deeper. And that's a trade most people don't even realize they can make. When you start to see pleasure for what it is, a momentary experience, not a lasting state, you can start to use it strategically instead of chasing it endlessly. You can enjoy the glass of wine without expecting it to heal your stress. You can love the thrill of a new purchase without expecting it to give your life meaning. You stop asking pleasure to do a job it was never designed to do. Because here's the truth. If you stay stuck at level 1, you'll always be dependent. Depend on the next hit, the next distraction, the next reason to feel good. But when you decide to climb higher, when you decide that fleeting joy isn't enough for the kind of life you want, that's when you start opening the door to level 2 and level 3, the levels where happiness isn't just a spark, it's a fire that keeps burning even when the wind picks up. So the question is simple: are you living for the next spark, or are you ready to build something that lasts? Level 2 happiness is where the game starts to change. And for a lot of people, this is the first time they really feel like they're building something solid. This is achievement-driven happiness. It's not about the quick thrill of buying something new or getting a compliment. It's about that deep, satisfying feeling you get when you've set a goal, worked for it, and actually made it happen. It's finishing that marathon you trained for. It's mastering a new skill you once thought was out of reach. It's closing the deal after weeks of hard work. The difference between this and level 1 is huge. At level 1, the high comes from consumption. At level 2, the high comes from creation, from progress. And progress is one of the most powerful human needs. You can be tired, you can be stressed, but if you feel like you're moving forward, you feel alive. The very act of overcoming something, of stretching yourself, produces a kind of fulfillment that pleasure alone can't match. There's a reason for this. As human beings, we're wired for growth. Your brain actually rewards you chemically when you overcome challenges. Dopamine isn't just about instant gratification. It's also released when you anticipate and achieve a goal. That's why so many people feel more excited during the process of working towards something than they do when they actually get it. The pursuit, the challenge, the steady climb, that's where a huge part of happiness lies. But here's where we have to get real. Achievement-driven happiness is more stable than pleasure. It's still not unshakable. The trap at level 2 is that your sense of worth and joy can become completely tied to results. You start to believe that unless you're producing, achieving, winning, or outperforming, you don't deserve to feel good about yourself. And that's dangerous because life isn't a straight upward climb. There will be seasons where progress slows, where goals take longer than you thought, where setbacks hit you out of nowhere. If your identity is only built on your latest win, those seasons can break you. I've seen so many high achievers fall into this trap. They live for the next big milestone, the next business success, the next personal record, the next award. And for a while, it works. Every achievement gives them that rush. But over time, it starts to feel like a treadmill. No matter how much they accomplish, it's never enough. They cross the finish line, and instead of celebrating, they're already looking for the next race. The goalposts keep moving. The satisfaction window keeps shrinking. And without even realizing it, they've turned happiness into a moving target they can never actually hit. Now, I'm not telling you to stop achieving. Far from it. Achievement is vital. It's part of how we grow and expand our sense of who we are. But if you want level 2 happiness to last, you anchor it in more than the result. You have to learn to find joy in the process, in who you become while you're chasing the goal, not just in crossing the finish line. This means shifting your internal scoreboard. Instead of only asking, did I win? Or did I hit the target? Ask, did I grow? Did I push myself beyond yesterday? Did I live in alignment with my values today? Those are measures of success you can own every single day, regardless of the outcome. And here's the irony. When you live this way, you actually achieve more. Because you're not just chasing the win, you're fueled by something deeper that doesn't vanish the second the trophy is in your hand. Achievement without growth eventually feels hollow, but achievement with growth, and especially when that growth is tied to something bigger than yourself, becomes a powerful source of lasting fulfillment. And that's where level 3 happiness starts to show up on the horizon. So enjoy your wins. Celebrate your milestones. Push yourself to see what you're capable of. But don't make the mistake of believing that the win itself is the whole prize. The real prize is who you become on the way there. Because at the end of the day, if your happiness only exists at the finish line, you're going to miss most of your life. Level 3 happiness is where everything shifts. This is where happiness stops being something you chase and starts being something you live. It's contribution-driven happiness, the kind that's rooted in knowing your life matters beyond your own needs and desires. At this level, you're not just asking, what can I get? You're asking, what can I give? How can I use what I've been given to make something better? For someone else, for my community, for the world. If level 1 is about pleasure and level 2 about progress, level 3 is about purpose. And purpose has a way of anchoring you in a way nothing else can. Because here's the truth, pleasure will fade, achievements will come and go, but the impact you have on others, that lasts, that becomes part of your legacy. Now, people often misunderstand contribution. They think it means giving up everything for everyone else or putting yourself last in the name of being selfless. That's not what this is about. True contribution comes from overflow, not depletion. It's using your strengths, your resources, your time, and even your struggles to make a positive difference. It could be as big as starting a foundation or as simple as showing up for someone who's hurting and actually listening without distraction. It's less about the scale and more about the intention. And here's what's fascinating. At this level, your happiness becomes far less fragile. When you live for contribution, you're no longer at the mercy of whether today went perfectly or whether you hit your quarterly goals. You can still have a day and feel good about who you are because you know you're connected to something bigger than yourself. That connection creates resilience. When life knocks you down, and it will, you get back up faster because you're not just living for you. You've got people, causes, missions that depend on you showing up. Think about the moments in your life when you felt the most fulfilled. I bet they weren't just the moments when you got something. They were the moments when you gave something that mattered. Maybe it was helping a friend through a crisis. mentoring someone who looked up to you, or creating something that inspired others. In those moments, time disappears. You stop worrying about yourself. You feel expanded, connected, alive. That's because contribution taps into a core human need, the need to matter, to be part of something greater. The beauty of level 3 is that contribution transforms even your challenges into assets. The pain you've endured, the mistakes you've made, the battles you've fought, all of that becomes fuel to help others who are walking a similar path. Your struggles stop being just scars and start being a source of strength for someone else. And when you see someone's life improve because you were willing to share your story or your resources, there's a kind of joy that no amount of pleasure or achievement can touch. Here's the reason most people never get here. Contribution requires shifting the focus away from yourself, and the ego resists that. The ego says, what about me? What about my comfort, my recognition, my security? And yes, you should take care of yourself. But if that's all you ever do, you will eventually feel empty, because you were designed for more than survival and self-interest. When you move into level 3, something incredible happens. Life stops feeling like a constant competition and starts feeling like a shared mission. You're not just running your own race, you're helping others run theirs. And in doing so, feel wrong, you create a deeper, steadier form of happiness, one that doesn't vanish the moment circumstances shift. This is the level where happiness becomes self-sustaining, because every time you give, every time you lift someone else, you reinforce your own sense of meaning. And meaning is the foundation that holds up joy even when everything else shakes. So here's the challenge I'll leave you with. Don't stop at pleasure, don't stop at achievement. Climb to contribution. Because when your life becomes about more than just you, that's when we feel wrongs, when you stop chasing happiness and start becoming the kind of person who creates it everywhere you go.